Hello and welcome to Gutter Farms. We're back with another episode of Farmville, North Carolina, and today we're going to be rolling our fields. A little bit unorthodox method for doing it. We are rolling our cornfields, which I know, at least in my experience, a lot of times we just rolled when we were doing soybeans. But in this case, we've got a bunch of stones out in our cornfields, and so we're going to roll it before they come up. I am using a tractor that's not set up for a row crop, so it's going to be a little bit unrealistic here, but I do need to get out there, and this is the biggest tractor we've got, and I really want to give this big Mandenko roller a shot here. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, a bit overkill for our tiny little fields, but we are going to be doing this, and I think it's going to work out pretty good for us. We are trying to maximize the yield on our fields this year, and so we need to get out here and do some rolling because they're just covered in these smaller stones here. However, before we get started over there, I just remembered we do need to jump out here and get our planter moving on this last field of corn. So I do want to get it started off here. Now, we don't have a lot of seed. We do have a fair amount of liquid fertilizer because we're not putting in a ton of liquid fertilizer. But we've got one more pallet in here, so I figured, why not? We're here. Before we get started, let's toss in the last little bit. There's only, I think, 185 liters, it says there, of liquid fertilizer left in this tank, so we'll just top that off, barely enough to worry about. And we're gonna have one more pallet of seed delivered. I could probably just hold off and see how it does, but I'd rather get the course play helper here working on the planting and not have to worry about running out and refilling halfway through. I want to focus on our rolling today, so we're going to go ahead and get this guy all good to go. Make sure he's able to keep going without any interruptions. And if we come in here, we're going to create a job for course play field work. Open up the generator. It looks like we're a 40-foot planter. We're going to do 2 headland passes. We're going to do the headlands first. We had the advanced settings turned off on course play for some reason, so I had to go turn those back on. And so now I can set my up-down direction to longest edge here and regenerate this course, and let's see what happens. There we go. We got a much better looking course here, and I think everything's going to be good. It looks like we're actually going to start right up here on the area in front of us, which will work perfectly for me. So we're going to get this guy all lined up and send him off. Bring up our course play window. We're going to start at the first waypoint, and away you go. I really don't expect any problems with this. Course play works pretty well with basic tasks like planting and stuff here. We just haven't been using him a ton to help us out. Looks like the doggo's out here exploring the field as well. But yeah, we're all lined up here, knocking the headland passes off. Fertilizer's going in with precision farming like we wanted. Yeah, I don't think there's much more to worry about up here. I just hope we've got enough of that liquid fertilizer to keep things going. However, we're going to go ahead and get back up to the other field and start in on our rolling job while the worker does its thing down here. It looks like I might have forgot to put sharp corners back on. Nah, well, we're going to let him go. We'll worry about that after we're done planting the bulk of the field. So let's see here. I've got this Alice Chalmers. We're going to pull it all the way out into the field and get it unfolded, and then I'll worry about backing into this corner to get started so we can get all of these rocks right at the entrance. The fun part of driving around with this big articulated tractor, it's a little bit interesting to back up really large implements like this. Well, that's all right. We'll get it figured out. There we go. And I'm going to go back just a little bit more because I'm a little far away from the left side over here. And I want to make sure as I pull forward, I can kind of get us up on that fence line. Now, this tractor is probably a little under horsepowered for this roller, at least according to the farm sim stats. But I seem to be able to pull it pretty good here. We've been able to... Well, I thought I was going to get up here. I think my tractor just got a little bit tired coming up this hill. I think we should be able to get up to 8 miles an hour or so with this roller, so it looks like it's doing all right. It just, as it shifts through those last few gears there, it seems to get stuck a bit. That's all right. I'm going to try to swing here. I didn't swing wide enough, so we're going to go down in that ditch just a little bit, which is not making our tractor happy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we don't want to be putting this roller down into that ditch. We may never pull it back up. I don't think we've got any bigger equipment here that we can use. We're zoomed all the way out here, and I can barely see the outsides of the roller, so definitely a bit oversized for our current setup. That's all right. We're going a good 8 miles an hour, 9 miles an hour here, so we're making good progress here. It's going to take all of 2 or 3 passes to knock these fields out, so I'm not feeling too bad about how slow this is going. We did end up leasing this. I think this is costing us somewhere around $5,000 to lease this roller, but it wasn't going to be much more expensive than the smaller base game rollers, so I thought, why not give it a try? Looks like we can actually get going a good 12 plus miles an hour downhill here. That's nice. It's definitely going to slow down as we go up the hill again, but if I were to go back to manual gear shifting, I think we could do just a little bit better. I'm letting Farm Sim manage the gears right now because I was switching between games and I had some equipment that wasn't playing nice with the manual gears. Oh goodness, we are stuck in the bushes here. I was a little bit worried about my ability to drive this big thing around with how hard it is to see things with the camera. There we go. See if I can go into this ditch and finish out that rolling. Oh, this was a mistake. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get back out. Oh, there we go. Well, with that little spot out of the way here in the corner, we really only have probably one more pass left to do here. Oops, we're missing it all though. I can't see through the trees. This thing lowers down a little bit slower than I was anticipating. I guess we'll have to go for the front-on view here. We're not quite wide enough to do this all in a single pass, but there's just going to be a little corner up here left to get on the way out of the field. That's all right. This is going to take no time at all. Although I'm pretty sure I'm driving diagonal across my planted rows here. Maybe at some point Farm Sim will do a little bit better job of showing actual crop rows in the direction that you planted for realism. That would be pretty cool. This map is not set up with additional multi-terrain angles though, so it actually probably end up looking a little bit weird on some of these fields because they're a little bit curvy, twisted, and you end up planting at different angles. But just like that, a couple of minutes and we've completely rolled out this field. If I get this thing to start folding up and we hop out for a second, we can see it's no longer complaining about needing rolling, but we are seeing some weeds start growing. So we're gonna need to hit this field up with some spraying after the weeds pop up when they're in that early stage. If you wait too long to spray the weeds, I think you actually take a penalty with precision farming. You've got to hit things at the right state. And so right now we can hit those with the weeder. Later on, if we wait too long until the weeds are grown way up and we spray them, I think we take a little bit of a penalty. So we're gonna wait a bit until things hit the next cycle, and then we're gonna have to hit them up with a sprayer. Now, it looks like AI worker Andy has stopped with an empty tank already. I wonder what that's about. Oh, we did. We ran out of the liquid fertilizer of all things. We must be needing a bit more nitrogen in here than I expected. So we're going to go ahead and start this guy up, and we should have enough money to buy one full pallet of liquid fertilizer here. I'm going to drive back up into the yard. We'll get this topped off, and I should be able to pick up the course by course right back there where we were at. And a full pallet is more than enough to top off the planter. So I don't think we're going to have any more problems with liquid fertilizer. In fact, we'll probably have a bit left over, which is fine. We can always use it next year. And I'm going to pop open the course play interface here. And we're going to go to last waypoint, because I think that means the last waypoint that we were at. And I'm just going to circle all the way back around here. We are going to have some little parts of the headlands that we need to clean up here at some point. That's all right. And I'm going to put us right here, pointing the way we were. Hit start, and hopefully he is able to figure out how to pick things up where we were at. Planter does unfold a bit slow. That's all right. Here we go. And right back into the headlands. Very nice. All right, everything seems to be good to go up here. I'm just watching to make sure it's all on track. It looks good. And so we're going to go ahead and jump back over here to the Alice Chalmers and see if we can get this roller up to our other field back here. We've got just a little bit more rolling to do. We've got this field back up behind the co-op here. I did hit the small field back up towards the farm earlier, right before the episode started. I wanted to make sure that my mods were all working and everything was good to go. That field was 2 trips around the field and we were done. So definitely digging, having some oversized equipment occasionally, knocking the jobs out real quick. Like the $5 grand to get the rolling benefit might be a bit steep. I'm not sure if we're gonna see that payback off, but I do want to see what a maximum yield out of our fields is gonna look like. So I think it was worth it, even if just for the science experiment. And I'm too lazy to do the detailed math on what the extra, I don't even know what this is, 2% or 2.5% is going to do for us on having the field stones removed. But in theory, it's also going to help with our maintenance costs on our equipment. Suddenly very frustrated. It's not rolling out any of these stones, which is unfortunate. This was working fine in the other 2 fields, but this field, not so much. It doesn't say we've got field stones, though. This part says needs rolling. This part says we're good. So, I don't know. This might be just a farm simism where they're not disappearing, but we're getting the rolling benefit. Either way, we're out here and it's not going to take very long, so we might as well just knock this out. But I am very confused right now. And these are most definitely the smaller stone patterns, I'm pretty sure. So we should be able to roll them. Huh, I don't know what's going on. Sometimes Farm Sim is just a little bit wonky. This field is a lot flatter than the other field we were just in, so we were able to sustain a little bit higher speeds when we're just running down the row, I feel like. That jump from 3rd to 4th gear, though, is just too much for this thing, and we get bogged down pretty easily, so that's something to watch out for. It's a big jump, and it seems like I'm always hitting it right as I'm doing something interesting like turning, which is putting a little bit additional load on everything. I think we're gonna turn around here and just head back over to the other side. Kind of take a round. It was I wasn't paying attention when we got to the corner there to turn on up into the next row, so I think this is going to be a little bit easier for us. The other two fields both worked fine with rolling out the field stones, so I'm a little disappointed this one isn't working as well. This is also the only field that shows the planted texture rather than the, what do you call it, the field texture. All right, well, it only took 2 rounds to wrap this field up, so I'm gonna go ahead and just hit this a little bit here. It looks like I missed in the corner, even though I'm not entirely sure we're doing anything productive at the moment, but it can't hurt, I don't think. So we're gonna do that and call it a day. This thing does have a tendency to float around a little bit if the ground isn't very level. That's all right. We'll get it all folded up, and I'm gonna run back up by the farm with it here because I'm not entirely sure if the fields up by the farm had any stones in them or not. I forgot to check. And so before we return the lease on this equipment, I want to make sure we've definitely hit all of our fields. I will say it roads pretty well, although the 2 wheels in the center don't seem to touch the road very often. And so it always looks a little bit weird having the tires kind of off to the side like that. But other than that small visual detail, the mod itself works pretty good. I don't think it's anything with the roller that's causing the field stones not to turn over in that field. We've seen that in the past, even using the base game roller. I think it's just some combination of the settings in Farm Sim and the field stone mechanics being a little bit wonky. As you can see here, this is the other small field we rolled earlier. That one got rid of all the stones without any problems. So it's just left to the 2 fields up by the farm to check in on. You can see our planter in the distance there going to town on this field. Looks like he's made quite a bit of progress, so hopefully we're almost done with the planting as well. I think spring is moving along pretty quickly here. We've managed to knock out some rolling and all of our planting here in the next few minutes. So I think it's just going to be on to doing a little bit of spraying over the summer here and moving back into harvest pretty quick here. I'm excited to check in on our animals and such as well in the coming days here on the farm. We're going to be seeing some new additions, I believe. We've got some pregnant sows. And this thing is ginormous, so let's see if I can actually squeeze into the driveway. Looks like somebody knocked down our mailbox, and by somebody I mean probably me. Just looking out into the field there, I'm not seeing any field stones, so I think we're probably good on that field. Let's circle around here. I think I'm gonna just pull this thing through and park in front of the shed here. Not seeing any out in this field either. So I think we're good on the fieldstone front. We're definitely looking like it. Let's check in here on our planter. And yeah, this all seems to be going pretty well. We've got a few more rounds here left to finish out this field. Little spot over there. But I'm thinking our corn's going to be good enough. We started with, I want to say, 20-something bushels of corn. So while 5 bushels looks pretty small, I think we're probably good. I think that that's going to last quite a bit here. We're not ticking through it very fast, and these are pretty short rows, so everything's coming to a close here in spring. I've just realized while I'm loading up the seed and fertilizer, because our planter ran out here, our ground textures have changed. I had a driveway around by these bins, and now it's grass again. I don't know what's going on with that, but I've noticed a few things really odd changing since I played the map last, or maybe a couple of times ago here, probably since Christmas. I don't know, maybe there was a patch or something, but things are definitely a little bit weird, and I don't know. I'm thinking it's probably an issue with the map or maybe base game. I don't know, but I've been very unhappy with seeing my ground textures randomly change. We're gonna be backing this here up to the planter, see if we can get our seed and fertilizer refilled. Guess we're gonna top off the fertilizer first, might as well, as long as we're here. It was the seed that we really ran out of here though. And we're gonna start unfolding this. All the row units need to get unfolded. Gonna move our pickup out of the way just a smidge, but I feel like we've just had all kinds of issues lately. I know that was the big reason we had to move the feed mill to the other part of the map, was issues with the Paint Anywhere mod not working correctly, the Paint and Terraform Anywhere. This is a last waypoint, so in theory... Oh, it wants to go all the way around here. Tell you what, I'm gonna drive you, I think I'm going to be able to spin you around better. I should have just backed up a little bit more. That's all right. We've got this. Something like this, I should be able to send you on the way. And we're off again. Good deal. I do need to dial the sounds down on this truck just a smidge, especially when you're outside of it. It's just a little bit loud. We're gonna bounce over our corn rows here, get this truck back up to the farm. But yeah, you can see it's the driveway we put in around by the bins, which is something that I did after the fact. And then also if we drive back here, all of this area as well is part that I reclaimed out of the grass back here. And it's all back to having kind of an ungrown grass texture underneath it. So I don't know what happened. That had been fine for a long time, and now all of a sudden it's been reset back to this other texture. So some weird things definitely going on with this map. I'm not sure how much looking into it we're gonna do. I think we're probably getting to a good spot here where maybe after this harvest, we're gonna think about selling off the farm and moving to a new location. I've got my eye on a couple of new maps that have come out, or I guess maps that I haven't played on with a series yet. And so I think we're gonna be possibly packing up and moving our operation to a new state here at some point in the not so distant future. I think we've got a couple of more episodes here to get into and through harvest on this map, and that should put us in a really good spot financially to pay down our loan and pack up our operations and move on. I do think we're going to continue with our assets as we move into our next series. I think I'm going to take a chapter out of a Daggerwind's book. I know he has a tendency to kind of bring things around with him series to series and keep those assets going. I think we're going to try that. I think this is going to be the series that starts us off on our journey to, I'll call it legitimacy. I want to kind of keep our proceeds going here, keep the continuity going. We'll probably sell off the equipment in the farm, but maybe we'll take our hogs with us. Maybe we won't sell all of the hogs off, and that could be fun. Interesting to start off in a little bit more advanced state. I know a lot of time when I start my series off, we're always starting over at the very beginning on a new map, and so it'll be fun to, I think, potentially start off with a little bit more progress, have some animals in some various states, things like that, and just keep going with some fresh scenery. So we'll see how it goes. I'll be curious to hear your comments on all of this below. Let me know what you would like to see as we do wrap things up. We've got at least a few more episodes to go on this series, so we've got plenty of time to talk about that. I'd love the feedback for sure. I know I've been kind of all over the place with this particular series, been trying out some new things and just trying to figure out what direction I want to take on a lot of things. So let me know what you like at the end of the day. I'm making these videos for you, so I'm curious to see what you'd find interesting as we move into the future. Not just with this series, but series in general. And I think this is going to about wrap things up for spring here on Farmville. We've got our planting done. We've got our rolling done. I'm just going to clean up some of these corner areas that our friend Courseplay missed. I'm not necessarily doing much better of a job than he is, but we're going to hit all the areas since we've got some leftover seed and fertilizer and go from there. Since it's been a minute while we've been gone on vacation and stuff, I thought I'd just bring up the menu here. You can see we're doing pretty good. We've got some at 50% here, which means I think 2 more months and we're going to have a bunch more hogs showing up here on the farm. And that also means we'll have a few more ready to sell, which is going to be good because I think each batch of those, if we wait till they're up over 1,000, means we're going to get more than $100,000 for each batch of 100 hogs that we're going to sell off there. So that's going to be exciting times for sure. I think the investments we've made into the farm are finally paying off for us here. So it's exciting to see us starting to turn an annual profit rather than just continuing to sink money into the farm episode after episode. So I'm feeling confident. I feel like by the time we're done at the end of the year here, we're going to be in a good spot to start selling off some of our assets and actually come out ahead of our loans. Hopefully you've enjoyed the series. We are back now. We'll be posting more regular content. I was out on vacation for a few weeks. I was out sick for a few weeks before that. And now we are back. We're all good to go. And we'll be resuming our live streams next week. I'm going to try and live stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays again moving forward. So we'll see how it goes. However, that's all for today. Ketterk out.